Look who pulled up for a catch-up. It's really here from 947 Afternoons. And if you're here, it means you've got taste. Go ahead, enjoy the moment you missed. But don't ghost me. Weekdays, 12 to 3 p.m. on 947. I'm loud and way more fun in real time. And yeah, there's more audio magic waiting for you right here on Prime Media Plus.
Great show as always.
Great show as always, Rob.
If it's shaking sport, we are already on it.
It always gives me pleasure to speak to someone who's got such an insight.
Paralo Sports Worldwide. Hashtag MSW.
Evening, Mr. Marao and the shareholders. It's Reaction Monday. Mr. Marao, if I'm being honest, Orlando Pirates has played the best football during the course of the season. So I think they will deserve to win the title. As a Kaizer Chiefs fan, it's hard to admit, but let's face facts. And Mr. Marao, I've got two questions for you. Firstly, if Cardoso doesn't win any trophy, would you sack him if you had the power? And secondly, are you keeping a slot at Liverpool? Thanks.
I don't know what it takes for coaches to be sacked at Sundowns, to be quite honest. I mean, what happened to Rulani still leaves me quite shocked. It really does. So I don't know what the threshold is for coaches to be fired at Sundowns. So maybe somebody else can help me with that particular one. Would they be able to? But hey, we park that aside because what a moment. What a moment for Pirates.
The class of 2026. It's discipline, heart, a relentless mind, leaving the average version behind. A champion is forged, not just born. Standing triumphant in the early morning and in the afternoon. They will talk about them at night. It's Orlando Pirates, champions of 2025-26. Job well done. The power is in Soweto. Last year was Soweto. This season it's Soweto. The ribbons go from black and gold to black and white.
Oh, those champions are in studio. That's why tonight we're celebrating history. We're celebrating glory, dominance, and the rise of the next generation of Buccaneers. So the black and white wave has taken over the DSTV Diski Challenge as Orlando Pirates are officially now the champions of the South African Reserve Football League. And after years and years of knocking on the door, it's been third place or second place. It's been heartbreak after heartbreak. The Buccaneers have finally stormed through. They've planted their flag at the summit of the DDC. And what a season it's been. I mean, I'm going to break it down to you. It's been a record-breaking 75 points, a staggering 24 victories, the best defensive record in the league with only 18 goals conceded, and a young squad that showed maturity, it showed hunger, championship mentality from start to finish. So for more than 20 weeks, I mean, they sat at the top of that table, refusing to move. And for more than 20 weeks, I mean, they just chilled there. It's not luck, guys. It's called domination. And at the heart of this incredible triumph stands a man who continues to rewrite history in South African football development, Coach Roscoe Krieling. And after conquering that DDC, he is here in studio. Broad smiles as they walked in. Coach, good to see you. Welcome.
Thank you, Robert, for having us. Excited to be here.
Yeah, good to see you finally.
Thank you.
I mean, I watched very closely on the weekend because I was quite interested to see, step by step what was going to happen. For you now to rock up here on a Monday, celebrating you as champions, what's the human feeling as a coach?
No, it's a great feeling. The expectation of me first joining the club last season was first to try to settle myself into the club. Obviously, as a coach, you always start a season off. You never say you don't want to win it. That's just a coach. Whatever coach walks into a season saying you don't want to win the league. But the planning was right. I think the technical team took to me very quickly. But the team took to me as well. But yeah, the funny part is some of the boys, when I first got to know them, they basically said to me, they've done their homework on me because they'd called players at SuperSport, now Swilele. And so I asked, what do you guys know? I said, no, you don't take nonsense. So yeah, look, I think from day one they realized that I was number one disciplinarian, high on standards. Was never going to shrink to their level. They have to come with me and rise to my levels that I wanted. And credit to them, Lebo, them and the group. They literally just decided to just go with me. And yeah, we had an amazing season. There's obviously your ups and the downs in the season. But I think, I'd credit to the boys if the performances alone says it all.
Yeah.
To be in the top of the league for 21 weeks.
Sure.
And then also 75 points. That realization only hit home yesterday when I realized we only dropped 15 points in the season. And I was like, geez, that is huge. As a coach, I realized yesterday going, basically we just lost 5 games the entire year. So, yeah, that's massive. And for myself as a coach, I think, I credit to not only me, but the technical team as well that worked with me.
Yeah. I know you're very strong in terms of, crediting the technical team because you guys do work as a team.
Yeah.
But for you as well, I mean, I was saying it's the first ever coach to win the title with 2 different teams. So that also stands out as credit to you. So even when you got there, the boys would have known that that's a championship winning coach. So if we want to actually break this thing that we haven't had since 2012, it's going to happen with you now.
Yeah.
Firstly, congratulations, because that is history that you've also made.
No, thank you very much. Like I said, yes, I do credit my team because even they know, like, I'm not about myself. I'm about the team. But of course, yes, I guided the team. Even with my staff, like the standards were set on them as well, because when I got there, I was like, there's no more this 2-3 hour work anymore. We arrive at 9, 10, we'll leave at 4, 5. That's how we work. They first looked at me and I was like, this is the way it's going to be. If you want to achieve something, I'm changing the entire program. Obviously the gym got added. We got added them getting post-training meals. They started doing extra stretching, extra individual training. I think Lebo can explain to you how intense the training and the demands that were put on them.
But I mean, that's a professional setup already.
That was the aim, like to not just see it as a DDC, but to say your next step is professional football in PSL. If I get you on that kind of program now, already you'll be ready for the PSL or any other club. And I think if you've been in any other setups, the setup we had this year was just professional. It was demanding, but was really professional. The guys worked because sometimes I'd go to the first team in the morning. I'd arrive 6:30, 7 o'clock at the first team, and then I'd leave the first team around about, say, 12:30. But they'd already arrived. So the first phase is normally arrival, physios, and then there's gym. And then by the time they're finishing gym, I'll arrive, and normally it's either going to go into a video session and I'll arrive for the video session. Then from there, the field will be set up because the training sessions will be sent to the coaches. And then we go from that into the training session. And then we're on the field for about 90 minutes, 2 hours, depending on the session.
So it's no surprise then that all of these records were broken because, I mean, you're talking about a proper setup here.
Yeah, look, I think that's the one thing when I'd met the chairmans and they'd asked me, it was never like an interview, it was just met up. And they asked what kind of program would I run. And I was like, well, again, like I said, I wanted to run a professional program. I don't believe in this 2 hour training and go home. We are working with professional athletes. And because I came from a sports background, I used to train in the morning as an athlete, 7, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then basically leave school, then go back to training again. I was getting home 7, 8 o'clock at night as a young kid back then. So I was trying to put my old mentality into these boys. And I think that's the one thing about me. I have a very hard winning mentality. I believe anything I go into, I want to try and win. And I think I try to install that on them this year.
Sure. And what a way. Now you're putting pressure on Abdulsalam Wadu, hey? We'll get to that in just a second as well. Let me introduce, a man that I saw on television smiling, holding the trophy, the captain, Lebo Mohlala. Good to see you, man. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, About the weekend, it was a very exciting moment because to be the first group, to win the trophy and make history, it's a huge milestone, It was not easy, to be honest, working with coach. But I feel like, him coming to the team changed a lot of things. He brought change to the team, which was good because he brought a lot of mindset to us, which helped us a lot, because he talked a lot about the mentality, which is something big, it played a very big role in us, and he demands a lot. So I think that helped us a lot, during the season. So coach played a very big role.
I mean, a lot is said about him being a no-nonsense coach. Tell me about that. What does no-nonsense mean to you, Leo?
Coach, coach has different sides to him, There's his good side where, you can laugh with him, you can play around with him, but when it's time for business, he means business because he doesn't take fooling around. He takes his job very seriously. And that's what I admire him about. because he can set aside, his other side and, become serious and say, guys, we need to work, because he can be a father figure at the same time he can be a coach. So him being that, sometimes he scares me, because in the field of play he's someone else, but outside he's kind and
He's
sweet.
a beast, eh?
Yeah, he's a
You
beast.
should ask them about the first game of the season. What happened? At halftime, 3-1 down.
Ooh.
They got to meet the real coach at halftime.
What happened in the change room?
It was intense.
Don't say kind words. Say it the way it is. Maybe not the swear words, but tell me exactly what was happening in that change room.
It was all hell broke loose. Like, as soon as he came in and closed the door, can't even put it in words. I'm speechless.
I'll explain to you. I said to them, one thing I said to them, do you know what club you play for? I said, this is Orlando Pirates. And obviously there were other words used. And I said, there's no way this is how Orlando Pirates starts the season. Not on my watch. And then I said, you go out there and you sort this out now. I said, I didn't care about tactics. I said, we were well prepared for that game. And then within a few minutes, the guys had gone back into the game, 3-2. And then Christian Derbyshire gets the goal literally on the last minute to get 3-3. I think that's just where the trajectory just started for the season. After that, I think they needed to meet that person on the game one. Literally, I walked out after I was walking into the change room, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm going to have to do this on game one. But I felt it. I knew it. I knew I had to do it. So, yeah, and that, it worked. Like Lebo says, I believe I have an alter ego. I have the very nice guy that you always see. But when you step over the line, that's a place that I don't want you to be. It's not a nice person that comes out, but it's a person that's trying to show you that the levels you want to aspire to, I'm going to get it out of you because I know you can, because I believe in you, and I'll get it out of you. And yeah, I've had boys in this team that worked on my nerves in the season, but people have gone back, what did you do to this kid? He's an angel right now. He's changed. I'm like, I'm not going to give up on any of these kids. I believe in their talent, but they got to know that I believe. But I'm not going to just be a nice guy towards them. I'm gonna drive. I'm gonna drain whatever I can get out of them. They aspire to see their potential. A lot of these boys, some of them come from bad backgrounds, and I'm the one saying you can change your life. Why do I have to believe it for you?
Well,
believe it yourself.
Can change.
No, it can.
Their lives,
It can.
100%. I mean, do you get that feeling, Lebo? Because I'm sure you sit back and you say, hey, a guy like Lyle Foster, he used to be here at Orlando Pirates. Yeah, sure, his team might have been relegated again, but he's playing in the Premier League. He starts in every game for Bafana Bafana. He's going to the World Cup, 100%. I'm sure that's going to happen. Do those moments inspire you personally?
It motivates me, every day to see people, make it in life like that, because I can make an example, with someone local, like Rele. I was playing with him DDC. So, that it inspires me every day to say, no, man, I played with Rele. And look at him now. Where is he now? He's like the face of South Africa, So I think that, it tells me that, also me, I can work hard and I can reach, new heights. See, because I think everything is in your mind. I think if you set your mind on something and you believe in and you work hard for it, I think you will achieve it.
You talk about Rele and the impact he's had. I mean, I've been looking, you're not wrong in saying that he is the face of SA football. Because I was looking at the poster for the World Cup. I mean, it's just 30-odd days left until the World Cup. I think SuperSport put it up, and I think they've got a photo of Messi, but Rele is in the forefront of it, which again shows that when you're in the mix of a World Cup, you're amongst superstars. So now this is not about just chilling at home and playing amongst your friends. So again, you lift that trophy as you did over the weekend. You're the captain. You almost become the face, the spokesperson for the players, coaches here representing the technical team. The more mature way of doing and playing football to bring about championships. So for you, a Rele journey means what? It means what for you for next season? Because we hear now we're done, you're the champions. But what starts popping through your mind about next season and where you want to be?
I've had a talk with myself, being alone about what's my plan for the next season and the few years to come. And I feel like I should fight my way to the PSL, and because I can see, most of my peers, they're playing PSL. So usually I don't like comparing myself because our journeys are different. Some people, peak at an early stage. Some people peak at an older stage. So I don't like comparing myself. So, but I feel like personally, me, fighting my way up to the PSL next season is what I like to achieve.
And I would say possible, though. I mean, you talked about Derbyshire. He scored again over the weekend.
He's got about 5 goals this season.
Yeah, I mean, he's from a defensive position as well.
So they was part of the group in the team I call the last dancers. I don't want to see them next year.
You want to clear them off?
They're gone. They've done.
Ship them out.
For me, they're done. They're out. The last dancers, it's him, it's Moses. I put Sisepe in there. I put Maselela.
Yeah.
Who am I missing? And who am I missing?
Bayanda?
Moses. And Bayanda, possibly to go out. He was an exceptional season. 17 clean sheets as well. It's an exceptional season. And I don't think that them being in the DDC next year serves them any purpose.
There's space up top there because, I mean, you've looked at how...
of course. And that a lot of people don't understand this. I see a lot of comments that pop up, why have they not promoted?
Yeah.
We've got 14 players in the season and they're quite young as well. Mutuma's not old, Siema's not old, Morema's just turned 25. And these ones they're not far behind. So, of course, there's not space, but we're going to have to find loans for them. We're going to have to get them... There is opportunity to fight for their way in the first team. They've got to go and fight for their way. There are obviously talks that will happen over the next few weeks, but it's up to them as well. The door's been open. The club's seen them. They're going to have to go and grab the opportunity. We've opened the door for them now, but I definitely think that they got to expose themselves at the higher level.
I mean, Coach talked about Bayanda Zulu, so if you're wondering who he is, I mean, he's almost following in the footsteps of what Sipho Chain is doing in the senior team. I mean, clean sheets upon clean sheets and achieving an impressive 18 clean sheets, another first for the Diski Challenge. So when you talk about records, and as we head to the break, we've spoken about the 75 points. I mean, they've blown away Chiefs' previous record of 70 points from last season, amassing 24 victories, another record, which beat the previous mark of 22 wins in the 30-match season, which was also previously held by Kaizer Chiefs as well as Stellenbosch. Talked about Bayanda Zulu. Again, 18 clean sheets. Another first for the DDC. And Paul Padime as well. I think Coach says that he is one of the ones he wants to ship out, emerging as, the club's standout performer, finishing as a top goal scorer with a highly commendable 10 goals. So in every one of those, what a season, guys. The champions in studio. We'll take your calls. We'll take your WhatsApp voice notes as well as we celebrate a remarkable, outstanding achievement.
Not your ordinary Monday. It's Reaction Monday. #MSW.
Good evening, Rob, Coach Roscoe and Pirates DDC players. Firstly, just want to congratulate Coach. Winning DDC twice with different clubs takes extraordinary coaching ability. I'm not a Pirates fan, but someone who's passionate about football development, and it's quite inspiring to see players we once watched at amateur level now lifting trophies and edging closer to professional level. And I think Ubayanda, the goalkeeper from Midlands Academy, Tuto Sisepi, who was orchestrating terms for Orbit at Pirates Cup a few years ago, Sibusiso Tau, left-footed genius, and K1's finest, Upopo Padime, one of the great players to emerge from the East End. But I want to find out from the coach, how do you contain a player like Popo and allow him freedom within the team to do what he does best and ensure that his skill is beneficial to the team? Thank you so much. May you continue shining and giving us more talent.
Yeah, great question. Thank you so much, Tebogo. Tebogo obviously is a great viewer of the DDC and other junior structures within SA football. Always difficult on how you manage super talented kids like that. How do you keep the discipline and saying it has to benefit the team as a collective?
Yeah, I think Popo and I, we've had a talk, and obviously I said to him, I'm not a fan of dancing for the sake of dancing. He's got to make it more effective. It's got to be effective towards the game. It's got to have an end product. And I think one of the best moments was against AmaZulu. There's a moment when he gets the ball, he spirals the ball around his neck and then pass, and then actually Tao ends up having a shot. And you look at this team going, it's effective. He did it as an end product. So I've said to him that he's got to use his flair. The one thing with Popo, so I never knew who he was before I came to. Obviously, then I got him, and I heard he's got this following, and I started checking his Instagram, going, okay, cool, I see where he comes from. So then one thing you realize is that he's got big match temperament. He plays in front of crowds. If you watch the weekend, I never had a doubt he'd not miss the penalty. He'll score the penalty because he's got that aura about him that he's been there. He's been in front of crowds, and I was just about taking his talent and molding him in the right way to be effective in football. And I think a few people have actually said, you look at the Mapo at the beginning of the season to the Mapo now, there's a big change in the way he's playing football. He kind of understands his game a bit better. I think he's better suited to come inside as number 10. He doesn't really have the pace of the sides, but the thing, if you watch now, he's got the capability of playing like a relay, plays inside, outside, and in Orlando Pirates way, that's what we want from our 10s.
I was going to say, I mean, that's the kind of footprint that Pirates have had.
Yeah.
And the realignment of Rel, I mean, we've discussed it here on the show ad nauseum to talk about how difficult it would have been for him to play differently for Bafana and then play differently for the club. But there's an alignment now between the two coaches. And what he does at Bafana, he does exactly the same now at Pirates.
Yeah, and look, I've seen Relay when he was at School of Excellence. Obviously, at that time at Supersport. And personally, we wanted to scout. We wanted him at Supersport. And I'd seen him as a 10. So for me, I'd watched him always as a 10 when he was at School of Excellence. And I think that's his best position.
Good evening, Rob. And up the bugs to Roscoe and the player there. Congratulations to my beautiful team. I want to ask one question here, Rob. I understand Crystal Palace has a program where if you are a former, like, for example, DDC, then unfortunately you did not graduate to first team. They have this program where, I don't know what they call it, like they babysit them until they find teams for a certain time, maybe a year or so, organizing games for them, training programs for them. So I want to ask Coach Roscoe, what happens to these players that are no longer, maybe those that are deemed surplus to requirements at Orlando Pirates, or those that maybe age has caught up with? So what do they do with those players? Are they just, let go just like that, or go see what you can do somewhere? Or is there anything, program or schooling or anything that they equip them with? Thank you, Rob. Great show as always.
Archie, thank you so much indeed. I mean, we almost touched on it somehow, when you were talking about players like Lebo having to move on. Yeah. The big question that he's saying is that move on to what? If there is no place in the senior team.
Look, we currently have, it's the senior team, it's the DDC team, and then there's still an ABC Motsepe team, which is previously known as Pele, but now it's Enterprise on 23. So that's kind of seen as the late bloomer where they can basically hold them. And funny enough, this season alone, you had Senwabo as well as Ski going to Midlands, right? Midlands. So they played there, they did well, we sent them on loan, and now they're playing in the NFD. So yeah, it's true. It's what he's saying, that in the UK there are teams that basically look after talents that have been in the club for a while, and they try to find places to them for, I think it's about a year, and then after that they're on their own.
Sure. But if you have to dream big, right? And obviously you talked about wanting to get into the Pirates senior team, but if you had to dream about getting into OR Tambo International, getting on an aeroplane and flying off to a destination, which is your dream team that you've always wanted to play for in Europe?
Personally, it's Arsenal, because I've been an Arsenal fan since I was young. So Arsenal, it's my favorite team. It's my dream team, actually.
Wow. And they're almost about to win the league.
Yeah.
You watched that game against West Ham?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was
What is the yours? Tell me. Were you feeling sorry for West Ham and the VAR decision that was made?
Yeah, I mean, I did feel sorry for them, but at the same time, I was happy that my team won, because, eventually I want them to win the league, because Man City, they've been dominating the league. So I feel like it's our time to shine, because also we're doing well, also on the Champions League side. We're playing the final, which is going to be a tough game. But I feel like we can,
play a set piece.
Yeah.
Hey, we scored from a set piece the weekend. He delivered it, so hey.
So he earned it. He earned it. I mean, obviously, you guys could have scored a second penalty as well in that game. It didn't happen. Is there still like a destination where, as winners, you go to?
We are not 100% sure yet, but there is a destination. We'll wait to find out from DSTV where we're going.
Okay, all right. So that's still on the cards. I just got a message as well from obviously a big fan. I'm sure you know him quite well. A gentleman by the name of Augusto Palacios. He says, congratulations to the coach of Orlando Pirates DDC. Great achievement for the club and also important to growing the future players. He says this is a good investment from Pirates already in the first team. You got players that graduated from the DDC. Well done. Continue with the hard work. Very emotional when Pirates' success in football development. That always is a foundation. Stay blessed. Prof. Palacios. So, I mean, he's one that was very strong as far as developmental football is concerned.
No, listen, he's been with the club for many years prior to when I arrived, obviously well known within the club. So, yeah, we appreciate the message and, we hope hopefully we can keep pushing that legacy as well.
I mean, which player surprised you the most this season, Captain Lips? From your team that maybe when the season started, you probably thought, maybe I don't really see his contribution, but come into the season, you thought, wow, what a player.
I think personally for me, it was Oratile Rantas. Beginning of the season, started slow. There were times when he was down. So I felt like, personally, going through, the season, he picked up, contributed to the team, he brought a lot. You could see the past game, he made a penalty. I think him personally, he came back to himself, because when he arrived to the team, he was on fire. Then I think, I don't know what happened, the beginning of the season, he went down, but such players, when they are down, I think in us being his teammates, we should uplift him, give him support that he needs, because I think that will build his confidence and his character, And I think we as teammates, we helped him and also the coach. So that's why I think him coming back, to the aura that we know, we knew that he was going to come back.
Right, so got a couple of questions that came through from the YouTube channel as well. Arnold says, surely the senior team will follow suit and also, replicate the DDC champions. He says that alone is just inspiration to clinch the title. Z2 says, please find out for me, can't they bring back Lonwabo Makukwana, who used to play with Umbogazi in the DDC? Last time I checked, he was at Chippa United. Any news there, Coach?
I would be up for the club to decide on what's happening with Lonwabo.
Yeah. I mean, you had a little pop there at Chippa United.
Yeah, I did.
At some stage in your journey, eh?
Always saving them from relegation. So that's what we were doing.
If you're not starting up projects like you so famously did at Stellenbosch, I mean, it did really augurs well what we're seeing now and what has developed overall. But from, post the game, and I could see the emotion because it was 5 years to the day that your dad had passed away.
My grandmother.
Was his grandmother?
Grandmother, yeah.
Your grandma. Jeez. And I looked at Hansi Flick yesterday.
Yeah.
And they just told him the news just before El Clasico started. Yeah. And he chose
to be in
the dugout and carry on with the game. I mean, how do you manage emotions? Because at the end of the day, as hard and no nonsense and as a driven coach and everything that brings you success, you're a human being.
No, of course, there's a human side to you. Funny enough, the morning of the final, I just felt in a very good space. The final, with the last game. Normally, they guys know that I wake up very early. I'm 4 o'clock, wake up 4 o'clock. I always double check my team talk. I check my paperwork that I'm ready to talk to them. About 5:30, I said, I'm ready, man. And they didn't know. I jumped in the Uber. I went down to the gym, sat in the sauna at the gym. I came back, and I literally looked up to the sky, and my phone buzzed, and I was like, hey, my grandmother's passing. And honestly, I just had a moment where I'm like, no, we've got this. Like, I just had that feeling we had this. And I think, like I said, there was a story where I said that I almost walked away. It was at the Super Sport thing last year, and then the Swelele, and I decided, no, I'm not going to continue. I don't want to continue at Swelele. I felt that I'd done my part, and I felt I have to prove myself again under new ownership. And yeah, I said, let's go to Durban. And then all of a sudden I get a phone call. And like I said, I couldn't say no to that. The Pirates, one of the biggest brands on the continent, biggest realest team in the country. And then, and I knew that they had goals to want to win this thing. It's been 11 years they've tried. Funny enough, I was one of the coaches that stopped him. So, and when I came there, I told Lebo and Jabu, there's no ways you're going to be the almost boys again.
Yes. But now, guess what? It's that sweet smell of victory, guys, hey? Captain, what's your final words, man? You're getting all these messages that are coming through. Bucks fans excited. I'm not going to ask you a question. Just you can thank them for their support. Shout out to anyone that means a lot in your world and in your life. I want to see you grow and I want to see you become the superstar that you are at a bigger level. Final word belongs to you.
Yeah, I'd like to thank, the fans, because they've supported us throughout the, the whole season. UJ would come, in numbers, give us the support. So they've helped us a lot, they've become, the 12th man in the pitch because their chants, they are singing, it uplifts our spirits, which helps us a lot in games, because some games, could be really tough, opponent could be really tough. Then them, singing, believing in us, pushed us a lot.
As they did at Dobsonville, man. What an atmosphere that was. That was crazy stuff.
That was a great vibe, man. Amazing vibe.
But that's been the spirit of the Pirate supporters even this entire season at the Orlando Amstel Arena. It's the same thing. It's just come out. I think maybe they can smell that something big is about to happen come end of the season. Coach Roscoe Krieling, thank you so much indeed for your time. Good to see you, Lebo Mohlala. Keep captaining, boss, and keep being the leader that you are. And once again, guys, congratulations. And thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Highly appreciated. We're going to be back again show tomorrow. Hey, what's going to be happening? I don't know. You find out. We'll be back tomorrow on Marawa Sports Worldwide. Proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
The thrill, the drama, the action. Play the game again. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. #MSW. Live now on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live. At the same time. #MSW.